Then we'll get a microphone to you. You will be called on from the back, so please wait your turn. Also, when you are called on, we'll put your position. Please say your name and affiliation. We're live on ACC Network, so that's for TV. And Coach Brey is the only one available today. Go ahead, Coach. Opening statement.
So I've got to step down to get the football press conference room?
Yes, sir.
It's unbelievable, man. I finally got over here. And, appreciate y'all being here. And it's not something that thinking about moving on to the next chapter is something I've thought about. Actually thought about it on the plane a little bit coming back from San Diego, because that may have been a good time, but we had these seniors coming back. We had a heck of a young class coming in. And I said, let's go back to work and do it. But about a month ago, Jim and I spoke a little bit. And I said, Jim, I think it's time for a new voice at Notre Dame. I've had 23 years. It's unbelievable. It's been amazing. But I firmly believe, down the road, it needs to be somebody else. And so let's really seriously talk about that. Jack and I talked about it this last week and felt now was the time to kind of do that. Another thing before we open up for questions, I fully own 1-7 in the league right now. We are where we are, and we want to get running and get moving. It's amazing the lengths you will go to announce that you're leaving to beat the Jesuits. It's really amazing the stuff you'll pull off to try and get them. But having said that, let's take some questions and we can talk about it all.
All right, we will start down in front on your right.
John Bryce. Hey, Mike. As you came to this decision over the last several months and even several weeks, what led you to know that now is the right time to not only step away, but announce you're stepping away?
I think it can be a distraction, speculation, and what's going on? Is he coming back? Do they want him to come? I just want our guys to try and focus and play. And my thought was, why don't we give some clarification to this thing right now and see if it helps our group and quite frankly, help Notre Dame, that they can get into the process of getting a little bit of advance notice on the search. I'm fully available, and Jack and I have talked about helping get the next person. I think that's a big responsibility for me to help hire the next right coach here.
Notre Dame's all-time winningest coach, all the NCAA tournament appearances and accolades. What do you hope that people remember about your time at Notre Dame in addition to the wins?
When it comes down to, people have asked about legacy with these seniors, and I so appreciate our guys here today. That'll be 72 young men that have come through and have finished their degree and have played for, and that's like 72 sons. And I certainly have heard from a lot of them in the last 24 hours. And those relationships are the key. Like, we've had some amazing wins and fun stuff. We've also had some disappointing losses and disappointing seasons, but it's like, it's about the guys and the relationships. And I'm looking forward to a reunion down the road when we can get a bunch of my guys back, because we got a lot of stories.
Staying in the front row all the way on the right.
Mike, Tom Noy, South Bend Tribune. You had talked as recently as October that maybe you wanted to go past 24, 25. What did you see, what did you sense in the weeks and the games that followed that kind of led you to believe, I don't know if it's going to last past this season?
Yeah. I think it's a cumulative effect when you look back to, here's, and you guys probably have the stats, from 2000 to 2017, we went to 12 NCAA tournaments. Am I right on that? I think 12. And since 2018, we've been to one. And that's how you're measured, man. And I felt we lost momentum. It was awesome to get us back last year, and that was an amazing experience to go and win 2 games in the NCAA tournament. And so as I looked at the big picture and looked moving forward, I just thought, I just think a new voice is needed. And so the accumulation of, we missed with Bonzi and we're first team out. Karma's been kind of weird since then, let's be honest. And we've battled and we've fought and last year was awesome. and we did some things to do it. But that's you're measured by that, man. We all know what we signed up for in this profession, and so a little bit of cumulative of that.
You've had struggles since you mentioned that 17-18 season when it was just so difficult. Was it just the frustration with you in every time you've had the struggles before, you felt you could pull yourself out of it, you can pull this program out of it? The frustration this year was just, I don't know if I have the energy, the juice that you've talked about. I don't know if I have it to try and get it back to where you were as recently as last season.
Yeah, no, I think that's a part of it. I mean, you got the energy to finish with this group, and I want to finish with this group. Actually, these seniors, and we actually talked this summer a little bit, and I may have been talking to myself a little bit when we did it. I said, hey, guys, let's make one last run together. I may have used the phrase last dance after the let's make one last run together, because I may go out with you guys too. We had a really good freshman class coming in, love those kids, and but there was a timing wise, and when you're at a place 23 years, I mean, you can get some fatigue of the routine at the place you're at a little bit. It just is what it is. And so as I thought about it a lot over Christmas, I just felt, there just needs to be, it's time for a new person. And again, I'm kind of excited about my next chapter. I have no idea what the hell it's going to be. But I'm excited about that, and relocating probably somewhere else, and 23 South Bend winters probably been enough. And, I'm kind of excited about that too.
Second row on your left.
Tim Priester, Irish Illustrated. Mike, I just wondered what you thought through the years, what your end game would be, because you had some opportunities, perhaps other places. Maryland was near and dear to you.
Yeah.
What kept you here, especially at a place where you always knew that football would be king?
Yeah. I think the kind of young men, and so appreciate my guys here today. You skipping class, by the way? Probably. You can't go on probation in grad school, though, can you? I got 6 graduates. Come on, man. The makeup of the young people that you get to work with here. And I see a lot of ours. So appreciate some of my fellow coaches here. That's why we've got a lot of long-term people here with me, and that's why we're here, man. It's just unbelievable young people to work with, and then you kind of made the program yours. You put your name on it, and then it was like, well, I don't want to reinvent at another place, and I always felt this would be, the last job, and it obviously is.
Well, that leads me into my next question, which the press release was carefully worded as steps down as opposed to retiring.
Yeah.
Are you retiring from coaching? And with that, the press release also kind of indicated that there may be a role for you within the athletic department.
Well, I think, certainly retiring from, coaching at Notre Dame, I wouldn't rule out being around young people and teaching and coaching again. I don't think I want to jump back into that next year, but you almost need time to think about it. One of the things Jack and I talked about that was very exciting, and Father John and I, was still being part of Notre Dame and helping and being part of things. And I would be honored to do that. I've been so honored, man. And I know we got my fellow coaches here. You're out, you're around, and say, hey, you're the Notre Dame basketball coach. That's a hell of an honor for 23 years to be identified like that. So I would be really honored to work. And I think the first thing we need to work on is Jack and I getting the next great one here to keep us going.
Second row in the middle.
Mike, Chuck Freeby, WHME, WNDU. First of all, the highlight, what will you remember as the highlight of your 23 years?
Again, certainly when you win an ACC championship on Tobacco Road going through Duke and Carolina was pretty damn good, right? That was pretty good. And, those Elite Eights were great. But, there's also moments with your guys and different things, when you're talking to them or going through stuff with them that are highlights that never become public and type of thing. But, certainly that, so it was our second year in the league, and we were able to win the tournament down there in their turf. And maybe we can get a little magic back in Greensboro when we go down there in 2 months.
By the way, I'm sorry I didn't wear a mock turtleneck today.
I was looking for one today to try to throw back, but I don't think they make them anymore. I killed that.
That said, as you look for the successor, presidents will often leave a note for their successor. What would you tell your successor? What advice?
It's a great job. This is a great basketball job. It's got everything it needs. We got that practice facility now, unbelievable support. You're playing in a great conference. It's a great coaching job, and then I'll recruit them from there.
Down in the front.
Or her. No.
Down in the front on your left.
Patrick Engel, Blue and Gold Illustrated. Mike, going off of that last question, I know the landscape in college basketball and college sports has changed a lot recently, but in the tenure, what have you learned about what's kind of the essential keys or things to win here and kind of the common threads of what's made the best teams here work?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've really done it with guys that have high basketball IQ and skill set and skill level. I think you can always work to get a little more athletic here. It's probably something we hear a lot. I think I hear it with football recruiting sometimes, when I read some of their stuff. But we've kind of done it with guys that know how to play, older guys that are going to stick around and grow with you and grow up with you. That's kind of been the MO. I don't think that changes. Certainly adding transfers, our whole athletic department have picked those off at strategic times, and basketball certainly has those opportunities.
And then, even though I know this was something you had discussed or thought about on the plane back from San Diego, but maybe what was the hardest part about coming to terms of why it made sense now and some of the stuff you touched on about since 2018 and maybe touched on at the Tuesday game?
And again, I think around Christmas when Jim and I talked, it's just an overall gut feel moving forward that I want to sprint like heck and finish this season. And then it was just time and you do have some fatigue at a place, and I'm thinking I think it's fair to everybody involved to be up front and let everybody know where we are, and the timing of this again I think helps. I think it helps on a lot of fronts.
Front row all the way on your right.
And Mike, Pete Byrne, WSBT. When you took this program,
You missed my opening press conference for you get married.
I know. I still
Remember
contend that your hire was the second most important thing to happen
Remember
on
that.
this campus
Remember
that day.
I just remember that.
Yeah. I outlasted you. My wife pointed that out, by the way. She's like, "We beat him. We fine."
That's a good one.
It had been about 10 years since this program had been in the tournament when you took it over. I mean, your resume is what it is. How do you want to be remembered for your time here?
Well, it's funny. When I took the job in 2000, I really didn't know we hadn't been in 10 years. I knew there was a dip here at Notre Dame basketball, but I didn't know it till, I really got out here. And that it was like, God, it's been 10? That's kind of amazing. And, we got back 12 of 17. It was a pretty good run. We were getting there pretty regularly and winning a game. And it's neat to say you get in, but then to win a game in the postseason too. And so that was always the thing. We got to get back. We got to get back in this thing. Can we be in regularly? Can we get in regularly? After Notre Dame had a 10-year drought. So that probably what moved me. And remember in '99. I didn't make the cut. I really tried to get the job in '99, and Bubba and Mike Wadsworth, God rest his soul, hired Matt, and God love it, and thank God Matt left in a year. And Missy called me. I don't know if Missy's in here. She called me. She called me in my office and said, I'll never forget the call. She goes, Coach, she was like sad sack, and she was like, well, you probably wouldn't be interested. I said, Missy, I'm still interested. I think I'm a great fit. Where do I need to be? She said, you need to be in D.C. tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I said, I'm there. I will do it. So, anyways, just some memories there. But, being back in it, and that's why last year was important. And that's, that gives you really your credibility as a program when you can be there pretty regularly.
And you were pretty emotional after the Tuesday night game, and I'm sure all of this is going through your head at one time. What had the last couple of weeks been like, and what do you think these next 6 weeks are going to be like for you, and how will you handle that?
Well, we're working like heck to flip the script, man. We got nothing to lose. We're going to try and we want to win an ACC game on Saturday, and then go on the road to NC State and play it out. I think maybe it can clear some speculation and some heads up, and we can just move forward and play. And we're, as a staff, we're trying to figure out how to help our guys better. And it's not the first time we've been pushed up against the wall and trying to dig out of it. And it's motivating. And I think our guys are extremely motivated to do it. And we're all joined at the hip to do it, especially the seniors.
Staying in the front all the way on your left.
Mike over here. Seems like just yesterday we were talking about Todd Burlage, Blue and Gold Illustrated. We were just talking about Chris Thomas coming to town. I can't believe how long ago that's been now. You fought through a lot. Facilities. I remember the old Partridge Family look inside Purcell Pavilion with tape holding the seats together. What's kind of your level of pride when you look back at everything you've accomplished?
I think I've been pretty low maintenance, man. Just put your head down and work, and we don't have this or we don't have that, or we just worked, man. And when you're dealing with Boeheim and Calhoun and Jay Wright, I don't have time to fight people on campus. I'm dealing with them year round. So my feeling was, everybody's going to do the best they can, and let's do it. I've been lucky with two administrators, Kevin White and Bo Jack, who, what do you need? How can we help? And so my feeling has always been just work, keep your head down. The pit was great. I loved hiding in the pit back in the day. If those walls could talk, oh my God, those walls could talk.
We're going to do last call for questions. Okay.
Mike, Pete Sampson for The Athletic. The sport's changed, but this job's changed too. So, as you talk to Jack about who's next, what are the traits you think are most important for this job now?
The climate of college athletics and college basketball is certainly different with NIL and the transfer portal, and you got to be really energized to manage that and attack that. And I think that would be the first thing. And certainly college athletics may get back on the tracks. We have new leadership. It's going to be interesting to see over the next couple of years. I'd love to help with that. I offer my services to try and help with that. I've been part of the NABC board, and we tried to help with some things. So, but that's a big part of it. And then understanding the mission here, understanding what this place is all about and embracing it. And I firmly believe I think I've done that. I've loved it. I've been honored to be here, but the climate moving forward, and I'm excited to talk about candidates at the right time about this. The climate moving forward within our mission. Let's talk about that, because it's different. It's different.
The embrace is such a vital part here. How quickly did that happen for you? There are examples along the way where you feel like the embrace of Notre Dame, it's such an important part. Why that matters, when you felt like you got it. And
in '99 when I was a finalist, I just felt I was a great fit given my background. I had those years at Duke and understanding, being at a great school and how to recruit to it, and so I felt there was a really good fit. I'll say this, though, in 99 and then even in 2000, South Bend, Indiana to an East Coast guy was like, how far is that? But the Big East saved me because it was connected to the Big East. I was like, yeah, it's kind of East Coast. And yeah. So we play in D.C. and Jersey and Philly, and I can go back there and recruit. Okay, I can work with this. And so now I'm an honorary Michiander, I'm sure, in 23 years. But that was a big part of it.
I think that's it. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys. See you Saturday.